Hello, everyone. I wanted to start with a question about the Handmaid's Tale. I was 12 at the time, but even I, at that time, had the sense that we were seeing progress in the realm of gender equality. Congress had passed the Equal Pay Act. The Supreme Court upheld a woman's right to choose. We had a woman, Geraldine Ferraro, nominated as vice president on a major party ticket in the States. And out comes The Handmaid's Tale with this very dark vision for the future. Where did that story come from, and what made that the story you wanted to tell in that moment?
Well, now, that's a long question. Let's just rehearse the history just before that. And let us say that I started conceptualizing this book in 1981. Mm-hmm. So I was actually writing it, how corny, in 1984. So before that, we had the 60s, a fairly turbulent time.
Right.
And we had the second wave women's movement really hit the news around 1969-70. And then we had a lot of activity in the 70s. Laws were changed, attitudes were changed, a lot of change going on, which not everybody liked. And then what happened in 1980? Ronald Reagan got elected, started rolling back the New Deal, giving us the inequality, financial inequality that we have today. And the religious right in the United States got energized and decided to go political. So I was aware of that when I started writing the book. I also had in mind the fact that the United States did not begin way back when as a democracy. In this part of the country anyway, and I'm allowed to say it because I've got relatives, it started as a Puritan theocracy. Mm-hmm. And it is generally true that countries reinventing themselves don't burn everything down and start completely fresh. They do as the Aztecs did. If they wanted a new pyramid, they built that new pyramid on top of an old one. So the potential for a Puritan theocracy has been here since the 17th century. And every once in a while, it pops awake again. And we are living through one of those moments. They have occurred before. And now it's occurring again. And guess what? It's never fun for women.
The Handmaid's Tale obviously presents us with an extreme version of what happens when a woman loses power over her body.
We may not get the outfits. We may get different outfits.
We may get different outfits.
But we'll get outfits. They'll just be different.
But the loss of power is unfortunately very familiar to us right now. There's a case in Texas that's been making national headlines this week about a woman who's seeking a medical exception to the state's abortion ban. This is, of course, post-Dobbs last summer. How do you see the overturning of Roe resonating in America right now through your lens as someone who's been thinking about these issues for decades?
Well, I think a lot of people who thought, oh, this isn't an issue anymore, had a rude awakening, mm-hmm. because it is an issue. And the real question at the bottom of it all is, who owns your body? Who takes ownership of your body? So what you have is a lot of lawmakers, in essence, claiming to own the bodies of women of reproductive age. And had I been doing the messaging around pro-choice, pro-life, I wouldn't have said pro-choice. I would have said against forced childbirth. So forcing childbirth upon women has a very long history, way back into ancient times. And particularly in slaveholding societies, you forced childbirth upon women so that they would make more slaves. That's what they were doing. Napoleon made abortion illegal because he wanted more, his words, cannon fodder. He wanted women to make more babies so he could have more soldiers. So these things have a history, and people should be aware of these histories so that they can see what is being done to them right now. And I think some of the people visualizing these laws or writing these laws, what they want is more people.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want more people of all kinds. They want more white people. But you can fix that just by making the health care so crappy that other people's babies die. And maybe they will die too. So that's what's going on, in my opinion, underneath these kinds of laws.
Right.
And by the way, being on the left doesn't guarantee a wonderful treatment for women either. Back to the French Revolution. Thank you. The Jacobins, who were on the extreme left, tossed women out of politics altogether. Although they had been instrumental at the beginning of the French Revolution, they were shut down. And the ideal of the woman being presented was straight from Jean-Jacques Rousseau, which was women should stay home and have babies, end of story. That was their idea. That was the extreme left.
When you see these ideas or practices coming back around from both sides of the political spectrum after literal centuries, are you optimistic about the future? How do you process that kind of cyclical nature of history?
There's no point in not being optimistic, because if you're not optimistic, you do nothing. You don't get out of bed in the morning, because why? So I just, by an effort of will,
right.
Sometimes it's an effort of will because you can't, I know we live in terrible times, but here's the optimistic thing. It could be worse. Yeah, when Trump got elected, I had some young people who had never been through any of these things say, this is the worst thing that has ever happened. I said, no, it's not. It can get a lot worse than this.